Hi, everyone. Welcome to Conscious Alley Midday Medi-Veggie.
Hi, everybody.
Oh my goodness, what a week it has been. How are you guys? How is everybody?
Doing well, all things considered, and we had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and yeah.
Yeah. Um, Esther, I think you have like a special program for us today or some special announcements or something for us.
Yeah.
See, I just passed the buck.
I mean, I got things to say. If that's what you're asking.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to start off by sharing something that I didn't know, and maybe a lot of you guys didn't. But today is actually World Day for Slavery Abolition. And this is specifically about contemporary slavery forms that are happening in our world today. So that could include trafficking, it could include sexual exploitation, child labor, forced marriage, recruiting children for armed conflict, all of these issues. We decided, the United Nations decided to make this an official day to educate ourselves about this kind of contemporary slavery. So,
That's
yeah.
good. Keep
Mhm.
talking amongst yourselves while I make sure that our friends are seeing all of our live streams and everything.
Yeah. So, I want to say like a big thank you to all of the organizations and the individuals who work, to end this kind of slavery in our world today. There is still 40.3 million people counted as being enslaved, and 1 in 4 are children.
Wow.
Um,
That's
Mind
so
blowing,
Yeah.
sad.
And
but
I'm thinking,
yeah.
let's not forget about the children in cages in our own country
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
who've been, deprived of their parents, their families. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And through no
Yeah,
fault of their own. Yeah.
right. And I think that's why today's is so necessary for us to do this Medi Veggie session because we really want to uplift, right? I mean, when we talk about everyone has issues and sometimes we don't even know about it, right? So like personally for me, this week has been really tough. I have a dog and his name's Milo and he's in the ICU right now. And I think he's gonna be okay. But these are the worries that we each have, but no one really knows because on Facebook, everyone posts whatever image or whatever that thing is. But we're all dealing with our own issues right now. So yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
why meditation helps.
Right. And I love that we can be transparent and authentic here, because there's a veil, I think, a mask that a lot of people choose to wear for whatever reasons to it's a comparison thing too, and I think that becomes a major problem when everybody's wearing these masks and they want, to be perceived in a certain way. And honestly, how do you connect with that? I think that from a standpoint of just being human alone, how we connect with each other is through those challenging moments, the stuff that is messy and uncertain and scary. Versus if you have this kind of idealized lifestyle, or you're put on a pedestal, or you put others on a pedestal, that relationship isn't even tangible. It's
Yeah.
something that, with the opportunities like this that we have, where we can really just be sincere, be genuine. And I love that. And it just goes and flows the way it should.
Yeah, and we accidentally, intentionally, or whatever you want to call it, built this little community here.
Mm.
I feel like whenever I don't feel so good, I can always reach out to all of you or each of you
Yeah.
to share whatever that is, right? And it really helps.
Totally.
Yeah, it
Totally.
really
It's
helps.
that
Yeah.
energy we bring here, and the cool thing is it's just authentic. We come here and we lift all of our spirits, and
Yeah.
for our listeners too. So that just goes to show, the impact that you can have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we are real. I don't think we
We're
are
real.
afraid to show show parts of us
I
that
am
are
robot.
vulnerable.
That was great.
You know how did you guys read like book series about kids who would like meet every week like in like a tree house or some kind of like special like friend group, Like there was like the Babysitters Club. I think that's before the 90s, right? And then there
Hmm.
was like a treehouse club. I feel like this is our like
Our treehouse club.
spaceship club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the spaceship.
I mean, this
This
is
is
what,
Mother's
like, as a kid, I always kind of wanted to be a part of. So,
I think it's really necessary. I was watching Lisa Ling's special. She does this weekly or something special, This Life or something. Anyways, they were doing that boys, because they're grown up in this society where all they do is, internet, phone, and all this, that there's no connection. And that what made me think about is, in the American culture, there's really no rite of passage to when you become a man or a woman, right? Except for Sweet 16, but really it isn't. It's more like a big party, right? And so there's this lack of recognition of identity, of moving on to the next phase of your life. So in the Santa Cruz Mountains, these group of men form this thing where the kids go there for a weekend, just a weekend, and they teach them how to be men, if you will. But it isn't what we think. They actually talk about feelings, and they talk about how now they're part of this group, and that they're safe, that they can express themselves.
Wow.
Simultaneously, they have a separate group for the parents, which the kids are not aware of. The parents also go into a retreat, and they're being retrained on how to be parents. How to not get angry, how to, treat their boys once they come home, because now they're men. So you can't talk to them the way you've always talked to them. So I was like, wow, so fascinated. And the majority of the boys come out of it. First, while they're there, first they're like this, like they don't want to be there and all this. They ended up like having this connection, and they cried because they are allowed to. There are all these positive things that came out of this experience.
I
And I'm
mean,
like,
I don't
wow.
think even in our schooling or our education system or anywhere there is space or, for anybody to connect with themselves. Like, forget about connecting with people outside, right? How do you even connect to yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, who are you?
Right.
I don't
think
think
that's
we even think about that. Who am I? We think that we are this person who's wearing, this blouse, this top, this long hair, or whatever, And but then really, who are you inside?
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful what you shared, Trami, because to create space, especially for males, to be vulnerable, that is literally the reparenting of ourself. This is something that I'm learning and using that term, to reparent ourselves, to help us to nurture the parts of us that we didn't receive, that we need, which are essential to our own well-being, our emotional well-being. And I think that's just such a powerful group that they've created, because that's how we can really connect, when we're honest and authentic and vulnerable, and can share that. And that's how we connect with
Yeah,
people. We don't share
it's
with a wall in front of us, like what. Yeah.
yeah, it's
yeah,
really
like, here's my
beautiful.
wall.
Yep. It's
Yeah, here's my wall, check it
I
out.
I was amazed at what they can do in just one weekend. That's the amazing
Wow.
part. But they really push
Yeah.
them. I mean, you have to watch that special. I'm sure you can get on demand or whatever. It's like amazing. So Lisa Ling, and it's just this past episode, I think.
And
So
this is
good.
in Santa Cruz?
Yeah, this group is in Santa Cruz. And once you start to Google, you see there are a lot of them out there. It's not like what we think about boot camp. Remember how they send the kids and torture them and stuff? It's not quite like that, because they actually do address the emotion and not just physically hard labor.
Right. It's not like military camp or something.
No, it's much different.
Yeah, I'll have to ask. I have a few really close friends of mine that live in the mountains, and they've been there their whole lives. So I'm curious to hear his perspective on if he knows of this, because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did start out this meeting by kind of bringing our attention to a sort of sobering topic, of like contemporary slavery. But I did want to balance that out by sort of highlighting an individual in our community that we shared about last week. So Glenn Pham was, if you heard last week, he was one of those injured during the random attack at Grace Baptist Church, and they run a ministry that serves the unhoused community members. We're so happy to hear that he's doing much better. He's healing physically and mentally. But what blows my mind is his birthday's coming up, and he kind of asked everyone to kind of support Grace Baptist Church's fundraising effort. They are going to continue running this program. They know they took the risk, and they're still, moving forward with what they wanted to do, which was to serve. So we just wanted to share about this really encouraging light, that's happening in San Jose and in the Vietnamese American community.
When is his birthday, Esther?
I'm trying to find out. I think it's just sometime next week.
Okay.
Yeah. You just said my birthday's coming next week.
Okay.
But yeah.
Nguyen is incredible human being, and I'm so amazed at his attitude, because most of us might be like, I hate everybody and I'm just gonna hide, but he didn't. He instead actually highlighted the exact community where he got hurt and who he is supporting and working for. So it's just, my God.
Yeah. I think we can all take, from that. That's a true measure of what love is. Is the ability and the capacity to forgive, to look beyond others' shortcomings and whatever the situation was, and to still love, to keep your heart open.
I think also not holding the whole community responsible because of the actions of one person, right?
Yeah.
So there were other people from that community who didn't survive.
Yeah.
So
Nguyen, if you're watching, we want to say hi, shout out to you. We're always sending you love and positive messages.
We've been sending you healing.
Yes. So I think Matthew has a special thing prepared for us today for our vegetarian portion of Medi-Veggie. Yay!
Round of applause. Yes, so today I wanted to share a little bit about, this is going back again to my raw food days, but what I wanted to talk about was the benefits of nut milks versus dairy and cow's milk. So you could basically make nut milk from any type of nut. It's pretty amazing. You could think that, something that's so firm and has such substance could actually produce, a milk from it. We've all seen the containers in stores, and they have them in pretty much a full range, everything from hemp seed to almonds. There's hazelnut and macadamia nut, cashew milk. There are some benefits to that. As an alternative, it's really good. Because of what dairy, just to give you a comparison about dairy, most of what you're getting in stores, store-bought, cow's milk is water. And there's another part of that which is kind of gross, and it contains pus and blood and all of the other stuff. When I learned about this, I was like, it was an eye-opener for me. And as a child growing up, I had really bad allergies. And cutting out dairy, because there's a protein in there called casein, and casein is an agent used in industrial glue because of its binding qualities. What that does to the body is it results in higher production of mucus, and certain types of casein also release casomorphins, which are similar to opiates, and so there can be an addiction that comes from that as well. So there's the interesting thing biologically, the same thing with human beings, is that a cow is only going to produce milk when it's bearing or rearing its young. After that, it's no more. Same with human beings. We don't go back to the breast, so to speak. Because there's no need for it. And that was one of the things. It sounds really logical, but we don't grasp the concept because it's so readily available. It's all around us. It's part of our diet. But it does lend to a lot of issues. When I cut out dairy completely, that created some major changes in me, and I no longer have allergies. And I think during the time period where it was 4 years, I was able to basically rebuild my system. Um, the neat thing about nut milks is that they are incredibly easy to make, and you can make them from all types of nuts, from almonds, cashews, Brazilian nuts, walnuts, macadamia nuts, pecans, and pistachios. The it's If you have a high-speed blender, it's going to be really beneficial. And basically, what you do is you take about a cup and a half of the raw nuts, and it does help to soak them overnight, because what you're going to do is release the tannins, which are a little more acidic, and they can make nutrient absorption a little more difficult. So it's good to soak them overnight, 8 to 12 hours. Some of the tougher types of nuts like pistachios and hazelnuts may take longer, but let them soak overnight, drain the water, and then you take the nuts and just add them to your Vitamix or your high-speed blender. Add about 4 cups of water, blend for about 30 seconds, and you'll see everything turn white, which is really cool to watch, to watch that occur. And after they're done blending, they make what's called a nut milk bag. You may have seen them. They actually sell them in stores now. Mind you, when I was going through this transition of the raw food adventure, this stuff was very rare to find anywhere. So I had to order online. But I think some of the local grocery stores, I know Safeway does, carries nut milk bags, and you can use like a fine strainer too. So you pour the contents through the strainer, and that will separate the pulp from the actual milk itself. And the nut milk by itself is a little bland. And so there's a few things that you can add to flavor. Dates work exceptionally well, vanilla as well. And if some of us like, chocolate milk, you can add cacao powder. I used to add mesquite pod powder and lucuma. So it gives it kind of a smoky flavor. It's really good. And the benefits from raw nut milk is just incredible, because you're getting a ton of protein, you're getting a lot of vitamins, and other benefits such as essential fatty acids, and it just makes for a really, I mean, to be able to consume that and have it available is just amazing.
It's really amazing to hear about this. I found out last year that I was not being able to digest dairy well, and I
Mm,
went off dairy completely. So I do consume kefir,
mhm.
but or kefir,
Yes.
um, but apart from that, I cannot even have yogurt anymore.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
I've had to go off pretty much everything. But then we live in a world where it's easy now to find replacements.
Yes.
There's almond cheese.
Hmm.
I did want to mention that those who drink a lot of soy milk as replacement or substitute to dairy milk, soy can actually interfere with thyroid functioning. So you
Hmm.
got to be careful
Yep.
about that. If somebody has thyroid disease, then soy will interfere with it. And
Yes, yes. And in
but
my experience too, is that soy there's inhibitors within it that really affect gut health. Even as a child, an infant, the bloating that would come from soy was just incredible, because it reacts with all the healthy flora and fauna. Soy is just like, it was given like this whole, go ahead, do your thing. And it's like, nope, I don't want anything to do with it.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Well, let's get to our meditation portion. We're running about 2 minutes behind. Come
Sorry.
on, team, let's go. So, Dr. Smita, take it away.
Thank you. So today we will do one more healing meditation. We've had some very intense full moon energies. I've heard from a lot of people they've been not feeling that great. They're like, we don't know what's going on, haven't been sleeping. So um, this is not a full moon meditation, but it is a meditation that will help relax your nervous system and help you come to a place of peace and calm within. So let's begin. I will turn off my camera here. And now find a nice, comfortable spot where you can sit down with your eyes closed. Maybe a relaxing chair or a sofa or on the floor. And try to make sure to keep your spine erect, eyes closed, hands facing up, open to the sky. And take a deep breath and hold it for a moment. Release through the mouth, making the exhale longer than the inhale. Take another deep breath, hold, and let go. Now just observe your breath, breathing normally, gently, easily. Observe how incoming breath energizes the body and outgoing breath relaxes the body. Take another deep breath in and let go. And now, keeping your eyes closed, just observe the breath flowing gently in and out. It is incredible how the simple act of breathing keeps the whole body going. It keeps the body alive and active. You know, without breath, there is no us. The breath allows us to perform every task, no matter how big or small. The more we focus on our breath, the deeper we can go. And the deeper we go, the more peace and calm we can access within us. Once again, take a deep breath and let go. The world outside is so chaotic. We have the pandemic going, raging all around us. And there are daily, never-ending chores, keeping us busy and distracted from this peace within. Focus on the breath, for it connects us to that calm and peace within. This is your time, away from the outer. so you may focus on the inner. A little break from the chaos. An island of peace and calm within you. Take another deep breath and let go. Bring your focus to your heart center. Your heart that beats moment to moment. Day and night, working with the breath, sending energy throughout your body. Your heart also experiences all the emotions that you go through during the day. Whether it's anger, irritation, or love, peace, and joy. When you breathe peacefully, when you focus on the breath, your heart expands and sends beautiful, calming, loving energy throughout the body. And when you are at peace, you can pass that calming energy to the world around you, outside of you, to all your loved ones. And now take a deep breath and fill your heart with peace, love, and joy. Just imagine that you are breathing in all these emotions connected to expansion. Breathe in love and joy and release anger or any upset. And now think for a moment, who in your life needs more loving? It could be you, or a friend, or a pet. Whoever comes first to your mind. Take a dip in the loving, peaceful energy in your heart and send it to them. And now, filled with this beautiful, loving energy, let us also send it out to our world, to Mother Earth. Take a deep breath and relax completely. And you may open your eyes when you feel ready, or if you wish, you can just stay in the state of deep relaxation. Namaste.
Thank you, Smita.
You're welcome.
That was your meditations are the best. I just have to say, like, I felt this one in particular. Trami, did you pick the music for this?
Yes. I
It
did.
was I felt like I was in an 80s montage, just being guided on this, on our mothership. Just, dude, it was so good. Yeah. And I just felt the peace just flowing through me. It was wonderful. Thank you both.
Yeah.
And
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
It's interesting you mentioned the music because I felt like that was what I was tuning into most.
yeah.
Because my brain was like, right? But I was like, okay, but the music was really good.
I did. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so interesting that, Trami and I never talk about what music she's gonna, prepare or what uh, visual is gonna show up. But most often than not, it's always aligned,
Mm,
right? It just
yeah.
works out.
It felt like the both of you crafted a movie. It was just this mind movie. It was just wonderful and just flowed. Yeah. Thank you.
I felt
Yeah, I was really feeling those energies a lot this week. I was getting it from all the people around me, this frazzled, kind of really sort of like restless energy. And I said, okay, I need to just bring the focus back to the breath
Mhm.
because that is the easiest way to just come back to centeredness.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It was so good. Like I felt, because and when you mentioned pet too, like sending that loving energy out there, and I was picturing all these different people in my mind, also, and there was some emotional thing that I was kind of going through, but it wasn't like a painful sadness. It was sort of like a release, like
Mm,
it's okay,
yeah.
yeah.
It's beautiful too that you can feel those things. In order to, there's a quote that always stuck with me. Is from one of my favorite groups, the Cocteau Twins, and they say, "You can't heal what you can't feel."
Mm.
And it's true. So in opening up your heart space and making space for that and allowing yourself this time, you can, navigate that and heal from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a real joy. It's a true joy personally for me to be able to, because, I could sit every day with myself and just, right?
Uh-huh.
But,
Yeah. It's the
but
same for me.
to
Mhm.
be able to connect in such a beautiful way with all of you and whoever was on the call is on the
Well,
call. It's really
Marcos
special.
is watching us.
Hi, Marcos.
It always feels like Marcos is part.
We love having you, Marcos. And I do
Yes,
want
we
to
do.
just extend a call for submissions to you or to anyone that you know if you're tuned in. We love hearing about like vegetarian recipes that our family and friends are doing. So if you know anyone who has something interesting to share, go ahead and let us know. You can always message us or you can email us at chopsticksalley@gmail.com.
Or if you have a restaurant and you want to share your
Mm.
recipe, we want to help our restaurant community here,
Yeah, our local cafes and restaurants, business owners as well, who have anything vegetarian to share. We also, Chopsticks Alley is about uplifting Southeast Asian artists. So if you are one, and this can be any form of art, painting, sculpting, dancing, making music, writing songs, reach out to us. We would love to feature you. And again, if you just know someone or have like a family member who is an up and coming artist, this is the type of work that Chopsticks Alley does very well.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw our 2020 report so far, when we're doing our like Tuesday, give us money. Yesterday was like a crazy, everybody's asking for money. But we this year so far have featured and paid over 50 artists.
That is
Wow.
It's
incredible.
incredible. It's the
Yeah.
most we've ever
Congratulations.
done. Yeah. Yeah. And
Dang.
I think it's a virtual platform that gives us that ability. Because,
Mm,
otherwise you have an event. It's how many people can you have at an event, right? Where
mhm.
this is like, if we're doing monthly or weekly, it's like 1, 2, 3, 5 artists, a week easily, a
Wow.
month easily, right? So, yeah,
That's awesome.
crazy.
And I know that there are several programs you guys do, right? I mean, there's that program in which Win participates, right?
Yeah, we do art tongue lecture series. We do the talk shows, and we have our LGBTQ
Yeah.
talk show, which we're not sure if we're going to continue next year. We would definitely want to support the LGBTQ community in some way. So maybe there's if you have an idea out there, we definitely would like to have it. And it's for us, it's really about a commitment to all the different communities that we serve. Yeah, we do so many things. It's like, check the list.
Yeah, honestly, just check out the website. And I remember as a writer, when I was going to write the piece on Chopsticks Alley art, there was so much content on your website. I was mind blown. I was like, they literally cover every aspect, from like the intellectual, like I want to learn about art history, to like the soul stuff, like meditation, like spiritual health, like clearing your energy, and then to promoting artists of all tiers. We promoted artists who are like breaking charts on Spotify, like #1 in Thailand type artists, to like local artists like myself, who are just kind of more like, this is something I do, when I want. It's not for an audience yet. So I love that about Chopsticks Alley.
Yeah, and because we're smaller, we're able to be really nimble, right? Because especially this year, because we're watching other art organizations, some thrive and some do well in this environment, and some are floundering. And we're like, how do we help? How do we become
Mhm.
different? And it's
Mm.
really the support of everybody, with the funding and the grants that we're able to get. So we know that our service is being needed. And
Oh,
so
absolutely.
keeps all of us going, right? Because we even talk
Yeah.
about this show. We're like, should
Yeah.
we continue this Medi-Veggie thing every
Mhm.
Wednesday? It's a huge time commitment.
Mhm.
And we're like, well, let's sleep on it. And then all of us woke up going, let's do it. It's like Power Rangers,
Seriously. Yeah, it's like akin to, for me, Voltron. Like all of them come together to make this giant robot. And it's true. I think Daniel from Content Magazine, when Esther and I had listened to the interview, he said something that really stuck with me, and that you're a bridge builder.
Wow.
You're connecting all of these elements together and just spanning these bridges all over the place. So I'm so grateful for the things that brought me here. Thank you, Esther. And yeah, it's just great what you're doing, and I'm so happy to be a part of it and to be
Yeah,
showcased as well. It
right.
feels great.
Yeah, and it's thanks to all of us. I mean, I can build all the bridges, but if nobody wants to step on it,
Right.
right?
That's a good point.
It's a strong one.
It
kind
is.
of.
Yeah.
Sometimes it
strong.
swings.
And we've had our other artists stop by. Last week we had another artist who had joined us right here.
Yeah,
Um,
always. I think
yeah.
about Sanjeev too. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
listening,
Yeah.
but Sanjeev is our Indian
Oh, my
American, artist performing with this beautiful heart and wisdom. I think about him all the time. I feel like he's touched something in me. I'm not sure what, but
He has that quality. He
Yeah.
just has that radiance in him,
Yeah.
which is just remarkable.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
he's a discovery from our other show, Chopsticks I Talk After Dark, or Juicy Thoughts. And they're the ones who featured him. And I'm like, wow, what a gem. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what we do, right? We discover these gems. Like, I mean, Matthew, your designs are like, whatever, I can't wait for us to be like in real world again. So I can like wear the things that you design, right? Now I'm like,
Thank you.
seriously, I'm wearing like a t-shirt, y'all, okay? With this like fancy scarf, okay, whatever. And then Esther, your music, I always love it because it's like this innocence that you have that sometimes the world just, make us like, but with
Aw.
you, it's like, look, there's this innocence.
Oh,
I
thank
really
you.
like it. Yeah. And of course, Smita, you're amazing.
Oh.
It's cool because we all come in with our unique strong suits, and it just really makes for something very well-rounded
Yeah.
and powerful, and all that just amplifies. It's just, and I learn from God so much from all of you.
Yeah.
It's great.
And when our guests join us, like last week we had the artist you mentioned, what's her name? Tweeta or something. Yeah. She's awesome. Like when our audience join us on Zoom, our friends, it's really fun because we have chats afterwards and it's like always very unique. So if y'all join, you can hear all the behind the scenes gossip. I'm just kidding.
And there's some really juicy gossip actually.
when we stop recording.
Yeah, I know. We get into it. Oh my goodness.
The unconscious alley.
Yeah. So today, so this is not an ad for McDonald's or anything, but the McRib is coming out. And I'm sorry to say, we're all about vegetarian food here, but I'm like, that's like one of my favorite childhood things.
Really?
Yes. And I haven't seen it in years. Like,
Oh my
7,
God.
8, yeah. For
You know what I want them
years.
to bring back? So Esther and I had this conversation when I was younger. They had those little fried apple pies. They were fried.
Fried.
They were fried apple pies in that little sleeve, and they were gone. Now they're all baked and healthier. And
Oh God. Yeah.
But I heard that McDonald's has created their own Impossible Burger or something like that,
Oh,
which
really?
is vegan, plant-based, and they'll be bringing it out soon.
Oh, that's good. Because I know Carl's Jr. has that
Right.
famous star, whatever it's called. It's really good. It tastes like the real thing.
Well, I don't know what the real thing tastes like. So
Oh, you have no reference.
I have no reference, so I just go by,
Yeah.
But my kids have never eaten at a McDonald's because there's just nothing, not even the fries are vegetarian. So, it's like, okay, we always, for fries, we go to Burger King or Taco Bell is our to-go place because it has so many options for us. But it's exciting to see McDonald's moving in that direction. The McDonald's in Europe has always served a meatless burger. The McDonald's in India has always had many meatless burger options.
Sure.
Oh, wow.
But in the US, they have somehow not, really done much.
Yeah.
So it's kind of exciting to see them bring this burger. Yeah.
Marco says, when I worked at McDonald's, they had fajitas. I loved making them for my breaks. which McDonald's did you work at, Marcos? I want to know. I wonder if that's still going on. Yeah.
I like the McDonald's in Hawaii too. They make local foods, and it's like we need them. And California is diverse enough. I think they need to make it more diverse.
Especially California. Yeah, you would think that it would be more available here, given the demographic and California is a big melting pot.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we just did a promo for McDonald's.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, let's see some of that money.
I know. We need money to continue the show, okay?
Of all places, it was that fast food place.
Just put it out there.
Oh my goodness.
But I do hope that when they finally get that plant-based burger, that they have a separate grill for it, because I will not eat anything on which you grill meat.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't know if they thought about that. I don't know. Yeah. McDonald's, are you listening?
Tucson, Arizona, early 1990s. Sorry.
That's where Marcos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fajitas. All righty then.
On
that note, so today we have to kind of end early because we have lives. But next week we have a really special program planned, right, Esther? I think you have a really special program for us next week. Yes, with our guest, our special guest.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so much in the present right now that I like honestly
Good.
can't remember what's going on next week at
We
all.
we are going to
But
have Mina, right?
yeah, Smita, could you share a little bit about Mina?
Um, so yeah, Mina is this incredible person. She went to culinary school, and she has somehow connected like food with um, our body issues, like how to feel good about the body, and what kinds of foods to um, eat that will help us feel good. But then also, what are the stressors in life that will uh, create issues with our eating?
Mhm.
And I know that we all go through that, right? Like I eat when I'm stressed. I do get stressed, people. So, and when I
It's
start
human.
eating like crazy, then I know, oh my God, I'm stressed, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, we all have these little, places in life when we are stressed or, and somehow it shows through our eating. So I think that's what she's gonna talk
That
about.
sounds great. I can't wait for next week so we can,
Yeah.
have her show us a thing or two and have your next meditation.
Yes.
So, on that note, I think we're going to say goodbye for today.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time. So, in the meantime, Conscious Alley Medi-Veggie every Wednesday. See you then.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.